Welcome back to Central Florida Spotlight. Sick time initiative is a touchy subject. Commissioners say that they can't touch it because of their lawyer's advice. But we did talk with Orange County Mayor Teresa Jacobs right after the ruling.
I understand the citizens' concerns that we're here. My preference would be that we move it forward to the ballot, but I also understand the board's concerns. I think the language is extremely misleading. Having sat and read the ordinance, it's way more than earned sick time. And I think that once the court decided it was our responsibility to get it right, it created a tremendous burden on our board.
To talk more about the sick time initiative, somebody who was out there in the streets getting these signatures, Tatiana Torres and Representative Scott Randolph, 50,000 signatures. You spent a lot of time going door to door, going to farmers markets in the heat, the rain, all sorts of elements.
Oh, yeah, and it was a victory that we were able to collect all 50,000 petitions. And yeah, and like you mentioned, it was in the rain, because during the summer here in Florida, we all know that it rains a lot, so sometimes we would be there for hours. I mean, we didn't mind getting wet or anything like that. It was just for the cause. It was something for the community, and it was a community issue, and we felt passionate about. But yeah, and even in the heat, and it got sometimes extremely hot out there. But it was well worth it.
From the first day that you heard about the Sick Time Initiative to collecting that 50,000th signature so that it did qualify to be heard before the commissioners and then get on the ballot, how much time passed? How many days, how many months, how many weeks?
Well, we actually started petitioning on June 4th for Orange County, and we were successful in collecting all the petitions on August the 17th. So it was about like 2 months and a half. But it was, I believe, the most wonderful experience that I ever had. I actually opened my eyes to a lot of things in the community. I was able to go ahead and get a lot of personal experience and relationships with a lot of people out in the community that were actually telling me their testimonies of how this affected them and how they were in favor of this and how much they needed this for their families and for people in their community. And this was something that they were 100% supportive of.
Tatiana, how disappointed were you to see the events unfold the way they unfolded?
Very. I did not expect that to happen. I think it was a curveball that they threw at the last minute because they were scrambling to find out what to do. Basically, it was two options that they had, and they came out with an option C out of nowhere. And so when I heard that and the way they presented it, it was very, at the moment, very discouraging. But again, when I come to terms of what happened, I feel more passionate about this cause and more passionate about doing more for the community because I am not going to be defeated.
After all the work you did you not think that you had a done deal here? Oh,
yes. We actually did everything what was required by the Charter of Orange County, and there was no reason for them to delay. I think it was just something for them to do because I truly believe they didn't believe that we were going to actually collect 50,000 petitions, and they didn't think that we had enough passion to do so. And we actually showed them that we were able to do it, and then the voters here in Orange County have a voice, and that voice must be heard. So I was very disappointed on that, and I feel like the way that they're talking about the language of the petition, they knew that we were doing this for 2.5 months. Why not come in the beginning of when we had the petition, when we were starting this petition to get everything signed? Why didn't they stop then and think about that?
Are you sensing that if this doesn't get on the ballot and doesn't get passed, that people will have to choose between getting health care for themselves or someone else, or possibly being fired and losing their job?
Well, that's the battle that we're already fighting. I think that battle will continue until the commission's office they're able to go ahead and open their eyes to this issue. I feel like now that we started this, I feel like that is just motivating us to go to another level.
Scott, politically, this could be a huge nightmare for those commissioners because now they have people like Tatiana, and they've turned what appears to be their back on this, although they don't say that. They say that they need more time, the language isn't clear, and there's all sorts of legal reasons as to why they didn't give this the rubber stamp. But politically, this will become a major issue.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, they didn't have to support it. They all voted it down as adopting the ordinance. But to not allow the people who followed the rules It's a classic situation. It's almost like a Wall Street situation. They're creating two sets of rules, one for themselves and one for the rest of us. And the people who followed the rules saw it written in the charter and said, this is how you do it. This is how we have a direct voice for a county commission that's not representing the middle class in Orange County, that's not representing that mother with a sick child. This is how we are going to be active in our democracy. And for them to create a second set of rules, I think it's a huge political problem for them. And I think, you know, if they don't directly pay the political price, I think there's going to be secondary prices to pay in the sense of, again, ethics reform that needs to occur in this county. And I think it's time we rein in some of these abuses in local governments.
Tatiana, you're not discouraged.
No, I'm not at all. I feel more motivated to do more things for the community. I think that it goes beyond earned sick time. I think it goes beyond the petitions, the initiative, everything. It goes more into what they did to the democratic process. This is a major issue. They were not afraid about this initiative. They were afraid that the people are actually gaining power, and they were gaining a voice, and they were actually using the process that was afforded to them, and they did not know what to do, and they scrambled to try to find another loophole. And I feel like that we should be encouraged and feel honored that they were basically scared of our voice, that we roared very loud and they heard us. So I feel like that this is a victory point for us as a community, that we are able to do bigger things, that we don't need to stand alone. We can just unite together and have one voice as a community.
All right. Thank you very much for both being here today. Again, we want to make certain that everybody knows that it's clear we invited all of the commissioners to be here. Mayor Teresa Jacobs declined, and so we sit with your side of the story. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.